he really loves having his face on film, you know. Every time filmmakers come, he's got to be on the front.
He's more photogenic.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Like virtually every school child in Liverpool, we were told about Williamson and the tunnels, but just in a very, very basic format.
One of the main attractions for me is I've volunteered as an amateur archaeologist on many different types of sites, in many different environments, but I've never found one like this that's so unique and interesting and such a large scale, and that's why I keep coming back.
He's using the hammer drill to chill some of the really rough concrete out of the top ledge, so we can get at the looser material below.
Is this another chamber back here? Or?
Well, there is a chamber at the back, so sort of to the right of Tom, which we can't get into yet.
There's a rock tunnel there.
And you just over to the back. Turn your light round, Tom.
It's all bricked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, literally over where that pole is.
Round the corner. That's a little passageway.
Keep still, Tom.
Oh, got it. It's sort of very Howard Carter-like, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we've only just uncovered Tom.
I've been buried here for 3,000 years. We want to try and get down to find a floor here.
Yeah, so
in the
hopefully
hope that one day there's going to be an entrance and a set of stairs going down to another deep cellar system.
Do you think that's a possibility, yeah?
Always with this place, always with this place.
Well, anything's a possibility, because apparently where you're standing there now, there's supposed to be a tunnel from there going over to the Bear's Paw, isn't it? Apparently.
What's that, the pub?
The pub,
Yeah.
Some
When it
people
was- when it
say
was
so,
the
yeah.
pub.
We don't know whether it exists or not, but
And the story goes that the landlord was having all the beer stolen, and they were using this tunnel to go through and steal it. And he got that fed up, he ended up coming in and concreting over it.
Wow.
That's the story. But we haven't found the
Still got concrete
truth in it yet.
It's a good story though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like that.
but we've got to get down to probably the level you're on to find out if we're actually on sandstone again or not.
Might find all the beer.
You kept cool though,
Might find some wine. Cool.
Well, I think we've got the two sites. We've got Paddington and the house site, and about 5 minutes away from each other.
Okay, this is our tunnels plan. Started compiling this many years ago, but basically there are 3 areas in yellow of underground structures, Williamson structures, which are actually accessible at the moment. Many others aren't accessible, but this is the site of Williamson's house here, this yellow area, halfway along Mason Street. Where we are at the moment is up here on a little street called Paddington, and we're in the Paddington cellars now. This goes down 60 feet below ground. And here is the set of tunnels on the other side of the railway, which is run by a different organisation, and they're called the Joseph Williamson Society, and the railway cutting runs through the middle. So we look after these 2 areas, and they look after the other area on the other side of the railway.
What we're trying to do, you see, is do a trench here with a level base, so allow us to put props in under this overhang. So it's somewhat safer.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, just to make double sure.
is that going to be any good?
We believe there's rods going through holding that up, but we just want to make double sure about where props as well.
We're actually standing in the basement kitchen of Joseph Williamson's own house. That's the frontage, that's all that's left, 2 stories worth of what was a 3-storey Georgian house. And this is 1 floor below ground. We're in a very large kitchen with this 4-layer cooking range, and directly below us where we're standing now is a chamber that we call the banqueting hall, which runs right underneath here, right up to the road.
Well, basically, I used to be involved on the digging side, but I've come away from that now to start looking after all the visitors, because over the years we've become more popular.
Well, when you find something, this was completely filled with rubble right to the top. You could touch the roof here when we first came. And then a bucket at a time, and we started taking it out, hoisting it up to the surface, dumping it. And eventually the spoil got to the bottom and we cleared it all out. And when we finally stood back and looked at it, we looked and we said, wow, what a job. We'd emptied that out, but look at what we found. It's amazing to find excavation like this, and we're proud of it.
I think it's the mystery. Total mystery. I mean, that's what drew me in. The more you dig in, the more you unearth, the more you want to know. And it's an addiction. To me, it's an addiction.
This is a bit of a fabulous moment for a lot of visitors who come down here who've never been before, because they turn the corner there and step out into this and look down and they think, wow. And a lot of people have said, this is a bit like being in the pyramids. And this comes from people who have actually been in the pyramids as well, and they think this is great. I act as a guide, along with a number of other people, and take groups of people around and tell them the story of Williamson and show them what we found. And there's absolutely no doubt about it. Everybody who comes down is pretty much always fascinated. There are very few people who are yawning and saying, can't wait for this to be over. And they're full of questions.
It's anyway, because that rain before we were under it.
All of that wire though. I think you used to be a dentist, didn't you?
The site is unique for me in that it's mainly underground exploration. The work continues all year long. Doesn't matter what the season is, we're still able to come down and clear the chambers and tunnels.
We all think it's vitally important for the city's history, because what Williamson did was absolutely unique. There isn't anything else quite like it. It's not the most fabulous underground structure in the world. You know, there are some wonderful places everywhere that you could go and visit, but there's nothing quite like this. Williamson was definitely a one-off. So whatever he created, whatever's still left of it, we want to make sure that it's saved. And we'd like as many people as possible to be able to come down here and view it and appreciate it like we do.
That's when I was in there on my own. There were people outside, but it was completely dark. And I just thought, just standing in quiet, and you could hear the water dripping. Completely pitch black. Couldn't hear anything else but just the water dripping. And they were doing a tour, so I just had to stand there for 5 minutes. You know, like a big deal of it, and yeah, it was quite a moment that, knowing that you're in there with all this stuff around, I've been there for years, nobody touched it, all you could hear was the water dripping.
There's not been a single best moment. The whole idea of finding Williamson's tunnels is a eureka moment. We find another tunnel, we think, wow. We find a stone staircase, we think, wow. And we find something else, it's just wow, all the way along. And until I lose the excitement, I'm going to keep coming.
Amazing. That's all I can say, is it's amazing.
Fantastic history.
For me, it's sheer excitement.
The project for me, and my involvement in it, I would sum up as very addictive.
Magical and mysterious.